Grinders. Welcome to the DFS pregame show here on RotoGrinders. I'm Jordan Cooper, aka Blenderhead, Blender HD. You're going to follow me on Twitter. And it's Thursday, July 6th. And we'll be talking more questions from the audience. Send in your questions. Questions at theoryofdfs.com. This is unstructured learning of DFS strategy, game theory, statistics, whatever it is that you want to know, contest selection, bankroll management, and anything. Anything you want. How to use the tools here at RotoGrinders like Lineup HQ. Whatever you want. Send in your questions. Questions at theoryofdfs.com. Let's get the inbox filled. Right, next week, Monday through Thursday, there'll be no shows, right? All-Star break. So when we come back, we'll have some wonderful, wonderful questions for us to answer. Tomorrow, I'll take a look at the currently 14 fight UFC pay-per-view slate. That's on Saturday. So tomorrow we'll take a first look-see at it. If you want to get the Ground and Pound podcast and all of our premium stuff, click on that link in the description. Get $10 off your first month. Hit that thumbs up button. You know how much I like the thummy thumbs in the morning. Good morning to the early birds. Jay Simmons, Bart B. Wataz. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What are the questions for today? I got a question in from Jeremy Bratz. I've watched your shows and listened to your audiobook multiple times. Well, thank you. I understand the concept of variance and not letting losses in MLB bother me. But what does bother me is not fully understanding what contest I should be entering, with my main goal being winning a large field GPP. Yet my bankroll currently at 2% a night would be around $30. Any suggestions to help? You've said that it doesn't matter whether I max enter a contest or not, but given that I'm limiting myself to $30, should I just put 30 entries into the $1 mini max? Okay. Well, let's break this question down. I talked a little bit about this yesterday, by the way. So if you want to check out yesterday's show, one of the words that I never like in questions is should. Should means that there could be a yes or no. There could be a right answer or a wrong answer, where there isn't. There is no correct answer of this question. And then the second thing is my main goal being winning a large field GPP. So if your goal is to win a large field GPP, then you know what you should be playing? Large field GPPs, and try to win them. Okay? This seems like very obvious. But nowhere in there says that you're going to make money. If your goal is to win a large field GPP, then play a large field GPP. I would suggest giving yourself the smallest sample, the largest sample size to have that happen would be to play the mini max. Play 30 $1 entries into the mini max. If your goal is to win a large field GPP, that is a large field GPP, right? We can take a look at the lobby today. Right, they have the mega mini max right now. Right, 29,000 or so entries. Right, $3 mega mini max. I can't see the even smaller one. I can't even see the dollar one. Right, I'm not eligible to even play those. So I don't know what that looks like. But like 10 entries into the $3 mega mini max, or do you 2 entries into the relay throw, or right? Something like these are the large field contests, right? All these other contests, right? The $12, the $25 single entry, the $12 single entry, the $5 knuckleball, they're much smaller field stuff. If your goal is to win a large field GPP, then play the large field GPPs. Okay? And which ones are easier to win? Easier to win. Softer. Typically, it's the lower stakes. The fields will be softer. The scoring that you'll need to win is probably not going to be much different than the relay throw because of the size of the contest. The mega mini max has 29,000 entries. The relay throw has 17,000 entries. So actually, it's quite possible that the winning GPP score, the first place score in the mega mini max is going to be higher than that in the relay throw. But the field will also be somewhat weaker in the mini max compared to the relay throw. Okay, so if your goal is to win a large field GPP, then you play large field GPPs. But remember, listen the wording of how I'm answering this. If you want to win large field GPPs, You have to play large field GPPs. Now, win means first place. Okay? That doesn't necessarily mean that you're making money. Okay? Okay? Understand that. So if your goal is to make money, that has nothing to do with winning. Obviously it's related to some way. Obviously, most of the money in large field GPPs are at the top spots. So it's hard to be profitable in large field GPPs without hitting the top spots. That's different from my goal is to win, play first place, not to make money. So if you were to max out, let's say the mini max at 150 entries, $150, $1 each, and play that all season, I think you have a decent shot at winning first place once. Especially if you're watching this show, especially if you understand how to not build bad lineups. But it's quite possible that you do, you win it once and you end up you're minus 12% on the year, minus 18% on the year, minus 4% on the year. You win that mini max once for whatever, $2,000 or something. Yeah, you won first place, but how much money did you make? Or maybe you do make money. Maybe you are profitable. Maybe on the season you have a 10% ROI. Right? But how much raw money is that? I mean, it's raw money, but it's not that much raw money. So this is why defining your goals matters. If you want to win, like I want to win the battery, the single entry 5K to first contest, 367 entries. My goal is to win that. Okay, so you play that. I mean, like it's very, very linear. That's your goal, then you play that. But it's quite possible that you play the 121 every day for 100 and 200 slates. You win it once, and you've lost money at the end of the year, at the end of the season. That's less likely to happen if you play the relay throw, the $15 large field. Why is it? Okay, it's due to the payout structure. Okay, so for instance, let's take a look at the relay throws payout structure, the $15 large field payout structure. So where I typically don't look on desktop, but I'll figure it. Okay, so here we go. It's a 17,000 entry contest or so. First place 50,000, second 20,000, third 10,000, fourth 6,000, fifth 2,500. You see, very top heavy. 10th place is a 50th of first place. 10th place pays $1,000. The difference between 10th and first is $49,000. Okay? So all of it, I mean, like the difference, if you were to max this every slate, just max it. You would have to win first like 2 or 3 times a year just to break even. And if some of those firsts are actually end up being thirds or fourths, now you're down money. Now you're down money. Because it's so top heavy. It could be the most profitable contest for you, but the swings are going to be dramatic. The variance is going to be ridiculous. The difference between coming in, I had a season, was it last season on FanDuel? Where, dude, like, I lost money and I had tons of top 10 finishes. Just I had 1 second and not enough. I didn't have a first, and I had a lot of fifths to tenths. And I lost money. I mean, small loss, but I lost money. You turn some of those fifths into seconds. You turn one of those fifths into first, and I'm wildly profitable. That's how dramatic it can be up here. So from a variance perspective, I would prefer, from a variance perspective, that the payouts, especially in the top 10, top 20, are flatter. First is 25,000. Second is 15,000. Third is 10,000. Fourth is 8,000. Fifth is 6,000. Sixth is 5,000, right? Like, so we get, so it's not just like $750 for 11th place. That's like $2,000. So the variance goes down. Once you start getting up to these top spots, I don't want these jumps to be so dramatic that the difference between my entire season is, did I come in sixth or did I come in third in a contest? And a difference of like 1.5 points. I'm not saying anything to do with profitability. I'm just saying it as far as variance is concerned, the swings of your play. So the flatter the payout structure is, the less variance it is. Now, it's still DFS, so it's still ridiculously high variance. But that's the difference in these large field payouts. Now, let's go to the Mega Mini Max today, right? 29,000 entries. Okay. First place pays out $7,500, right? 10th place pays out $300. This is a little bit flatter. A little bit. Not as flat as it could be, but still flatter. This contest would be a little less variance, right? Less top heavy. It only pays 10%. 10% to first, 23% to the top 10. Compared to the relay throw, where it's 22% to first and 42% to the top 10. So you go, oh, well, what should you play? Well, that sounds like you should be playing the Mega Mini Max. No, that's not what I'm saying. There's no correct answer. What's the downside of playing the Mega Mini Max? Okay. So I framed it as, well, the relay throw, very top heavy, and a lot, and much more variance. Mega Mini Max, not as top heavy, less variance, meaning that your swings aren't going to be as big. You go, oh, I think I should play the Mega Mini Max. Well, what are the downsides? Go back to what I said previously. The score that you'll need to win the Mini Max is actually going to be higher, probably, than the one that you need to beat the relay throw. Now, the relay throw probably has a bit of a stronger field. A bit. It's still a weak field. The large field contests are always the weakest fields. The Mini Max there should be more dead lineups in here. So, like, let's say in the relay throw, 24% of lineups are like bad lineups. In the Mini Max, maybe it's 30%. Okay. So now let's say you have the choice, right? You have $30. Okay, we'll get around to it because you have to weigh all these variables, and then you have to remember there is no correct answer. It's all dependent on your goals. So here's a $3 contest. You had 10 entries into this contest, or 2 entries into the relay throw. Do $15 entries if you were to do that. Remember, your goal is to win a large field contest, so that's what you're going to be playing. Now, obviously, we're using these examples being that you know how to build good lineups, or at least not play bad lineups. Right, so we're assuming that the 10 entries that you're putting in, the 2 entries in the 15 or the 10 entries in here, you're actually putting in good lineups. Okay? Now, because you're only putting in 2 lineups in the relay throw, you really only have 2. Like, you can't diversify anything. Most likely, you're going to either win, you're going to lose $30 or you're going to win one of your entries back or something. Right? There's only so many choices you can make. How much diversity can you have in a 2-lineup portfolio? Very little. And what does diversity do for you? It decreases your variance. You play 10 entries into the Mega Mini Max. The likelihood that you go minus 100% is much lower than if you go minus 100% in the 2 entries that you play in the relay throw. right? You play 10 lineups in here, you play $30, maybe you get back $12. Right? Some of your lineups cash. You're hoping one of your lineups come, maybe you put in 30 and you get 110 back. Right? Some of your lineups, 7 of your lineups don't even cash, but one of your lineups comes in, gets you a 5x or 7x or something. You have much more ability to diversify in 10 entries than you do in 2, which decreases your variance. Doesn't make it better or worse. It had nothing to do with profitability. Just talking about variance. Because you can play 10 different, I could play this stack, that stack, this pitcher. You could diversify more. Is diversify better or worse? No, diversification has nothing to do with what's better or what's more profitable. All it is variance control. You could build plus EV lineups with virtually any player on the slate. Right? Do you play Pablo Lopez yesterday? Did you not play Pablo Lopez yesterday? You could build lineups with him or without him. That were plus EV. Just the lineups that don't have him, you have to do so. You could play a little bit chalky. You can play the Braves in those lineups. Maybe the ones with Lopez and Lugo, you don't play the Braves. The Red Sox were a little chalky yesterday or something. So you can play anyone you want. But obviously, when you have 10 lineups, you have the ability to diversify more. You can choose not to. You could say, I'm going to play 10 of the same stack, 10 of the same pitcher. I'm going to just rotate in 3 mans of other things. You can do that also. Those individually are plus EV lineups. Just your variance will go up. That's it. That's the only difference. So the positives of the Mega Mini Max are the payout structure is flatter. You'll be able to multi-enter, which if you can do that well, the more and more lineups you start adding, the harder and harder it gets for you, because good luck trying to build 150 profitable lineups. It's extremely difficult. Because remember, the second lineup can't win first, because if the first lineup wins first. See, if your 140th lineup may not even be a profitable lineup. You have to be good at building multiple lineups. But if you are, you get the positives of your swings will be lower. Doesn't make you more profitable or less profitable. But remember, I'm not talking anything about profitability here. Just about swings and variance. So this Mega Mini Max, $3, 10 entries at $3, will decrease your variance for 2 reasons. One, the payout structure is flatter, and your diversification will be higher. Playing 2 entries into the relay throw, it's very top heavy, which means your variance goes up, and you can't diversify, which means you can't get your variance down. So it's kind of like YOLO. Play 2 lineups, let's to the moon, right? Your swings are going to be, you're going to have a lot of net minus $30 nights. You have a lot of them. So I'm framing this purposely in this way for you to think, well, that means obviously I play the Mega Mini Max. Why may not that be the case from a profitability standpoint? Well, when you win the Mini Max, when you win this Mega Mini Max of 29,000 entries, you're going to get $7,500. Okay? This is nice. That sounds pretty good. If you would have played that same lineup in the relay throw, you would have made $50,000. Okay? I'm pretty sure, most likely, the lineup that wins the Mega Mini Max today would have won the relay throw. Right? Because look at this payout structure. So you'd be like, well, if you could play that lineup in the relay throw, you would have made what? 7,500. You would have been more than 6x times the amount of money. The field isn't dramatically sharper. It's still a large field GPP. But of course, when you don't win first place, you're bleeding a lot of money because it's so top heavy. You're not bleeding as much money in the mini max. But the thing is that when you win the mini max, you get 7,500, and if you downswings and everything like that, like what's your risk of ruin in the Mega Minimax versus the relay throw? It may not be that dramatically as dramatic as you think. Oh, I played 10 lineups into the $3 Mega Minimax and play that every day if they offered it every day. Maybe at the end of the year, if you win it once, the end of the year, maybe you're up $3 or $4 grand. Remember, you have to lose money in order to make money. It's not like it's $7,500 the first. That isn't going to be the peak. Probably, a good 30-40% is going to be money that you've lost in the process of winning that. So maybe you're up $4 grand for the year, for the season. If you go by MLB season. If you play 2 lineups into the relay throw and you win first, like you're gonna be up like $47,000 for the season. Now you're only playing 2 lineups. The likelihood of you winning first over the course of an entire season is much lower because you're playing 5 times less lineups. But your reward is dramatically greater. I mean, let's say you played 10 lineups into the Mega Minimax, and at the end of the year, you're up $4,500. Pretty good. That's still pretty good. I'm not discounting that. That's pretty good. That's good. That's great. And you build from there. If you did the same thing in the relay throw, you'd be up $45,000. 10 times the amount. Now it's less likely to happen, right? There's more risk of ruin. But it's up to you to judge, is that risk of ruin worth 10x the rewards? Being that the types of lineups you're building for both contests aren't going to be different. I'm not even talking about, are you good at building large field lineups? Like you have to be good at that. When people say, should I play small field single entry? Should I play large field stuff? Now there's a lineup building difference. Here we're talking about the choice between 2 contests that essentially you're building the same type of lineups for. If your goal is to win a large field GPP, then play the Minimax. It's lower variance. Right? Doesn't mean you're going to be profitable. Doesn't mean you're going to make the most money. Doesn't mean any of that. But it should be the least amount of swings in your pursuit of that goal of just winning first, regardless of if you're profitable or not. But it's going to be a much longer haul to build your bankroll playing the Minimax or the Mega Minimax than the relay throw. Right? If you're looking to like, oh, I want to be able to move up and play the 222 or the 888, I want to play those types of contests. Like, well, if you can't beat the Minimax, then you're not going to be able to beat the relay throw, first off. So yes, I wouldn't say dive into the deep end and play, 100. Don't max out the relay throw at $2,250 entries. I'm not saying to do that. You know how many seasons you're going to have to play? If you were able to play the Mega Minimax like from today and played that every year, and you were able to win it once a year, and you make $4,500 a year doing so, how long is it going to take you in order to play the same amount of lineups in the relay throw? It made years. That's normal, which is fine. It's fine. But if you were to play the relay throw and you win that, like you're there, you could be there in 2 months. You could. You could also go broke, right? But those are the trade-offs. You're weighing profitability, long-term profitability, swings, variance, bankroll building, what your goals are, everything like that, with risk of ruin also. If you want to be profitable playing DFS, you know the best way to do it? Bum hunting. Just play head-to-heads and send out invites and try to get as many suckers to play a head-to-head with garbage lineups. You may only be able to find $10 worth of action. Maybe some days. Who knows? How long is that going to take you to get $50,000 in your bankroll? A long time. You're more likely to. It may take you 50 years to do it. If you're willing to wait all of that out, your risk of ruin is going to be pretty low. But if your goal isn't to make $1,000 a year playing DFS, I want to make. Your goal is I want to be able to make $5 million a year playing DFS, and I have a $1,500 bankroll currently. Well, you have to take on an immense amount of risk in order to do that. Immense. You're going to go broke 99% of the time. 99 point whatever percent of the time. If you're willing to do that, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no incorrect answer. Just know that you're most likely going to go broke. And there's a small percentage where you end up with $5 million. If you don't mind, if that $1,500 that you have is just lottery money, then go ahead. Who's to say that you can't do that? But then there's some people that take it to the extreme and go, well, I have a $1,500 bankroll and I'm just going to grind out I'm going to play $5 a day. Right? $5 a day. I'm not going to play large field GPPs. I'm going to play $5 $1 head-to-heads. And you may get good action. Maybe you're 70%, 70-30 favorite. Right? Which is great. And most of the time you'll be in the 58 or 60% range. I'm going to play $5. I have a $1,500 bankroll. I'll play less than 1% and play $5 a day. At the end of the year, you'll be up. Maybe you'll be up $300 or $400, which is great. Okay, there you go. How much time did you put in to do that? You might as well might as well work at McDonald's at that point for the amount of money that is. But if you enjoy it, it's no. I'm doing this purely for the intellectual challenge. It doesn't matter to me if I had $300, $400 at the end of the year. Get to buy a video, buy the new video game system or something with it. Okay, who's to say that that's wrong? That's not wrong. That's not incorrect. That's just on the very opposite. That's on the nittiest side that possibly is. But you're not going to make much. I mean, the likelihood of you making $400 at the end of the year is very high. The likelihood of you going broke is very low. But how much does that $400 at the end of the year mean to you? Just for the sake of okay, I intellectually beat a game, then it's fine. But it's it's not going to. How much is it going to build your bankroll year after year? It's going to take you forever. Which is fine if you don't mind, if you want to do it. Obviously, there's a middle ground depending on what your particular goals are. And depending on where you are in that spectrum will determine, what contests you focus on, what, bankroll percentage you do. Well, I'm doing 2%. You can do 10%. Do you have an even bigger edge? The bigger edge that you think you have, the more that you can risk. I mean, that's Kelly. The higher variance the contest, probably the less you should risk if you want to lower your risk of ruin. Playing 20% of your bankroll in large field GPPs, you go broke probably 99% of the time. That's not sustainable. But there's a percentage of the time you don't go broke. If you're willing to accept that risk, no one can tell you otherwise. But don't be shocked. Don't be shocked when you're broke. Don't be shocked. Oh my God, but I played well for a month and I lost all my money. Yeah, because that could happen. You could go on months and months of losing, especially in large field GPPs. But if your goal is dude, either I'm going to make $1 million playing DFS or it doesn't matter to me, then that's the type of stuff that you'd be doing. Knowing that you're going to go broke more than 9 out of 10 times. But there has to be a middle ground depending on what it is that you want to accomplish. What it is that you're strong at. You may find that like, oh, turns out I could find really weak opponents in this sport and this types of contests, and I'm actually pretty good at it, then play those. But there's not much money in there. Like soccer, for instance, is my best sport. Best. It's not my most profitable sport because the prize pools are smaller. And I will play Premier League and I will play Champions League, but dude, there's MLS stuff. There's the Women's World Cup is coming up. I can play any of those. The thing is that the contests are so small and the lobby is so shark infested. Like for those really the smaller type of stuff, like I can barely get enough. I can barely get good head-to-head action in Premier League and Champions League, and those are the biggest. So people that are playing MLS, like I'm not going to. Anyone that's in the head-to-head lobby is not worth playing. We're both losing to the rake at worst. So what? I'm going to play for these $1,000 prize pools, $150 to first place type of things? No. I don't play those anymore. You go back 8 years, you go back 7 years, that I played them all the time. I played every soccer slot there was on DraftKings. So that was the only thing that I was playing. And I got good at it. And my bankroll was ridiculously smaller than it was now. So winning $150 for first place was pretty damn good for $3. Now it isn't. Doesn't mean that there isn't an edge there. It's just it's not worth the time for me. I could play those. So there's all sculpts around like these variables. Profitability, raw money, variance, swings. How much are you willing to risk versus how much are you going to get rewarded? And that's all up to you. Let's go through the YouTube chat. Jay Simmons says, my goal is to make money. I found that I have an edge on FanDuel single game MLB. I stopped playing classic plays and I went exclusively to single games. Yeah, there you go. Chase does that. Can he make money in the classic slates? He probably can. How much money is there in the single game MLB on FanDuel? Probably not as much as in the classic slates. Is he going to make millions of dollars? No. He can make more money in the classic slates. It's much more profitable. Probably slower swings because of his edge in the single game MLB on FanDuel. That's what he's found. So he devotes more time to that. There's no correct or incorrect. Oh, everyone should be playing this. No, he should be playing that. Just like you shouldn't be playing. Anyone listening to this, Jordan plays soccer DFS. I should be playing soccer DFS. I was like, are you good at soccer DFS? I'd never heard of anything. I'd never watched a game in my life. But you shouldn't be playing it. Poe Degen Stoner says, I just ride out being up and down 10 or 20% till I hit a couple of 10x payouts supplemented by 50-50 and double ups. Not sexy, but steady. Okay. Which is fine. There are many ways to do this. Many edges to have, many paths to take. The thing is, only you could define what your risk is. I'm on the nittier side. There's some people that don't mind taking the risks and be like, I'm YOLO, and maybe 8 months from now you never see them again. Or they bink three big things, or they win a milli maker, and then you know who they are for the next 10 years. That's what a lot of this is. Brian C says, I just feel like double ups and head-to-heads are no fun. Well, then you've defined what your goals are. Your goals aren't to make money. Your goals are to have fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying that. Don't take me the wrong way. I'm not saying that like facetiously. If you're playing to have fun, play whatever way you want. Play the most fun way. But then don't complain to me when it's like, oh, I lost $1,000 over the course of the year. Did you have fun? Oh, yeah, I had tons of fun. Said, how much time did you put into it to have fun? Oh, thousands of hours. It said, so it was cheaper than going to the movies. It was the cheapest entertainment you'll have. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if your goal is to have fun, then do the stuff that gives you the most fun. If you don't want to go into lineup HQ and start looking at projections and ownership and blah blah blah, if you want to go and go, I'm gonna go. What's the wind? It's 13-mile-an-hour wind and whatever. I'm gonna pick 3 guys that have the last name that start with C. Like, and that's the most fun to you. Then go. Not stopping you. You have to admit that that's probably not the most profitable way to play. That's probably not a winning way to play. But if that's the most fun way to play, then go for it. It's fine. It's just like poker. Everyone wants to win a WSOP bracelet, but that dude grinding 20-40 limit is constantly winning cash. Well, neither one is not better than the other. One is just higher variance than the other. That's it. That's the only difference between the two. You're probably not gonna win multiple millions of dollars playing 20-40 limit hold'em in a short amount of time. You're probably not. Winning $2 million, winning a WSOP bracelet, $5 million, $10 million, the main event or whatever. Well, you can only do that by playing the World Series of Poker. But your risk of ruin is absurdly high, obviously. The 20-40 limit player, the risk of ruin is extremely low. And you could take shots, even in poker, you could take shots. Doesn't mean you have to do one or the other. In poker, I am predominantly a cash game player. Even back in the day, right? I would go to tournaments with tournament, people, good tournament players that I was friends with, and they'd play the tournament. I played the cash games. And occasionally I would play. Occasionally I'd play tournaments. Right, the decent sized field with a structure that's good, long levels, stuff like that. Maybe, okay, I'll give it I'll take a shot. I'll shot take. But other than that, I'm looking for the softest games there at the stakes that I'm comfortable with. And I was looking to make money. I was looking to pay my rent. I was looking to have a nice lifestyle. Do I have to make all the money? No. But that's me. I can't say, well, for me and my skills and what I'm looking, this is exactly what you should do. There is no correct answer. That's why I'll say there is no correct answer. There's not even if we both have the same goals. If you said, okay, Jordan, I'm 100% with you, I still can't tell you because I'd be like, well, how much head-to-head action do you get in Champions League? They're like, well, I don't follow soccer. It's like, yeah, so you can't just do what I do. There's some people that are like, oh yeah, I do great in tennis. It's like I can't help them. I don't play DFS tennis. I know several really good high stakes, several, maybe 2, really good high stakes NHL DFS players. They always tell me, it's like, you're good at soccer, you're good at MLB, you should play NHL. Similar concepts. The contests are fairly soft. You should play it. I'm like I don't know anything about hockey. I haven't followed hockey in 20 plus years. And I can if I wanted to, but I mean, I just focus on other things. But I can't do what they do. I can't, go and pick off NHL head-to-heads. Like, I don't know. My edge in NHL is not going to be anywhere near what those guys are. Just like your edge in soccer is going to be anything but mine is. So you can't just do what other people are doing. What do you do? When I say I want flatter payout structures, is because I want my variance. I'm saying I'd like to have lower variance contests. But I'm not saying that the payout structure should go down to stupidity. 5% the first place. So it needs to be worth it to win, especially in large field GPPs. And truthfully, the heavier the payouts, the more top heavy the payout structure, the more beneficial it is to sharp players. From an EV perspective, it is, because people build lineups that are either too low projected or too high owned. And when it seeds, when the payout structure is flatter, those min cash spots, those 90th percentile spots are worth more. And that's what a lot of people build towards. They don't build towards first place. So the more equity we put in those spots, it actually decreases the edge that you have. The highest edge contest would be the Millie Maker and winner take all. That would be the best edge contest there is. Everyone goes broke in the process of winning that. So it's unrealistic for them to ever offer that, but that would be the highest edge contest. The NFL Millie Maker, but we just gave everything to first place. Well, whatever the prize pool was. $7 million prize pool, it's $7 million to first, second place gets 0. That would have the largest edge. The problem is that everyone would go broke, and they wouldn't be able to offer them that long because you'd be putting in entries and never getting anything back. Even though theoretically, if you could play like 4,700 lifetimes, like you'd be up a lot of money. If you were able to do that. So these are the things that you should consider. So there's no correct answer. According to Jeremy's question, it's like my main goal of winning a large field GPP. I get the sense, and maybe I'm putting words in his mouth. I get the sense that he's equating winning a large field GPP to making a lot of money. Instead of thinking in terms of I want to make a bunch of money, and what is the best path for me, for Jeremy, based on his skill set and his bankroll to do so. If your main goal is to win a large field, that to me that's fun. That's on the fun level of the spectrum. Do whatever you want. Play the cheap, play the quarter arcade, play the dime. Go to FanDuel and play the dime. Do you still offer the dime contests? I can't see any of this, so I don't know. I think they offer nickel and dime contests, whatever. Max enter that. Have fun. Typically 150 lineups in a nickel, like you'll have, and you're diversifying enough, you'll always have some type of sweat. Like maybe not at the top level, but you'll always feel like oh, well, I'm going to diversify, play 150 lineups into the nickel contest, right? So that's like what, $7.50. And you feel like anything. Some team puts up 13 runs, you probably have a stack of them. Something to root for, right? And do that. Definitely do that if you want to practice. Like if your goal is to I'm going to go and I'm going to start max entering the higher stake stuff, even the $15 relay throw. Like, dude, you should be practicing on those contests, on the nickel contests, the dime time contests, the quarter arcades. Can't win those. Can't do well in those. Like, I don't know how you'd expect to do well in anything with sharper fields. Even though the sharpness isn't that dramatic. Matthew Rowland says, I watched the show yesterday when you talked about the projected ownership total. I used that method last night and turned 115 in lineups into 2,400. So thank you. Okay. I don't know that had anything to do with me. But I guess if you learned something and it immediately turned into profit, that's always nice. But hit that thumbs up button, right? Matthew Rowland. Okay, so tomorrow, I'll get the lobby off of here. Tomorrow, covering the UFC paper. The UFC 290, is it 290? I never know what the numbers are. I can always tell by the hashtag. Is it 290? Yeah, it's 290. 14 fights as of now. Good luck finding an underdog. That's what we'll be talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk about what are these nut lineups going to kind of look like, because we're going to have, I think you can be more likely to try to avoid duplication on a 14 fight slate than leave $2,000 on the table, because we have a lot of big favorites on the Saturday card. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Send in your questions. Okay? We're going to have the All-Star break Monday through Thursday next week, right? We're going to be off. I'm not going to be here. But when I get back, I need questions, right? So submit them. Questions at theoryofdfs.com, right? Don't just put them in the comments. Email them in. I hoard them. I keep them in my storage, in my inbox. We answer them. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to know when we go live. We got crunch time coming up for this early slate. This early MLB slate. We got the Grinders live later today for the late slate. We got FanDuel stuff. We got Draftkings stuff. We got Will with the Pick'em stuff. We got Scores and Odds. Grant's over there, with the home run stuff. And go to subscribe on the Scores and Odds channel for that. Got tons of stuff coming up. Obviously, get all the projections, all the ownership, all the numbers that you'll need to build plus EV lineups at RotoGrinders, right? So click on that link in the description. Get $10 off your first month. And if you want to learn more about the subject that I talked about today, the variants and swings and bankroll management and contest selection, that's in Theory of Daily Fantasy Sports. You want a more structured way of learning? Get the 15-hour audio DFS Masterclass. That's like for the fundamentals. And then the advanced players course with the custom Excel tools. That's more for experienced players. Get both of them. theoryofdfs.com. And I will see you tomorrow. And as I always do here, answering your DFS strategy questions Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock Eastern on the DFS pregame show on RotoGrinders.com.